Hey guys, so Module A, Comparative Study, Text in Time will be the focus of us looking at this module. So Frankenstein and Blade Runner, one of my favourite modules that we covered in the HSC. But a lot of students make a number of stupid, silly errors when it comes to this particular module, and particularly Frankenstein and Blade Runner as their elective, the Text in Time. So I'm going to be going through all those misconceptions and wrongdoings within this particular module, as well as giving you all the ideas that you need to be unpacking within Frankenstein and Blade Runner, and some key scenes to be looking at as well. So all the bits and pieces that you need to compose to get that Band 6 20 out of 20 in Frankenstein Blade Runner essays. So let's get started. So Module A, that's the first one you need to look at. This is not a study of Frankenstein and Blade Runner to begin with, it's a study of what the module is asking. So we need to really understand what the module is asking specifically at this stage of the game, because this is your last chance before you sit the HSC exam. So we need to get this down pat. A lot of the past HSC questions will actually draw ideas and their wording of the language in the question straight from the actual module, not the elective itself. So, Module A is a comparative study. So when we say comparative, compare means to look at the similarities and the contrasts. So what is similar in each text and what is different? So the two areas, similarities and differences. And how is this showcased between the two texts based on a number of stylistic, technical and contextual factors. So by that I'm looking at techniques, the historical, social, political, philosophical, spiritual, ontological aspects, which shape the meaning behind the composer's system of values. So, apologies for philosophical spelt wrong as well. Module A. So through comparison we want to find out the ideas, the values, the concerns, the areas of importance, thematic threads, the key motifs, the lines of argument, the systems of ethics and moral compunction. This is what we'll be uncovering through our comparison between Frankenstein and Blade Runner, or the other electives that you've studied where you compare two texts. This is just the two texts. Remember, there are no related texts for this module, which is great. So the rubric, what does the module rubric ask? So the comparative study of text and context is the actual module name. This module requires students to compare contexts in order to explore them in relation to their context. So the first thing is not to look at context, we need to compare the text and that will unveil the context. It's not discuss the two contexts and then compare the text. We want to be comparing the text and how the context is implied or connoted through the particular analysis that we offer, and we'll get into that a bit later. So it develops students understanding the effects of context and questions of value. So context and value are two of the main areas we'll be looking at. Each elective in this module requires the study of a group of texts which should be selected from a prescribed text list. Yep. Students examine ways in which, so here we go, the social, cultural, and historical context influences aspects of the text, or the ways in which changes in context lead to changed values being reflected in texts. So pretty much we're just looking at there how the different context shapes the way that audiences receive the text and how the composer constructs the text. Purpose and audience, as it says there, analysis of the content, values and attitudes conveyed through a range of readings. So that's interpretations it means. So let's look at the elective specifics. So Text in Time, which is the second elective. So the rubric says, in this elective, students compare how the treatment of similar content in a pair of texts. See how it already mentions the word similar content? So we know that both texts offer similar content, just in different ways. Composed in different times and contexts may reflect changing values and perspectives. So that's some of the key words there, changing values and perspectives. So do the values change? Are they stayed the same? Are the composer's values the same in comparison to how the character's values are portrayed within the text, so their perspectives? By considering the text in their context and comparing values, ideas, and language forms and features, so the techniques offered, students come to a heightened understanding of the meaning and significance of each text. And so we want to extrapolate the meaning and significance of the text through the techniques offered, and these are inherently the values of the composers, the ideas shaped within the text. So we've got Mary Shelley and Ridley Scott, so Frankenstein and Blade Runner.